Hello everybody. Today we will be talking three different types of loops. Basically syntax I will cover in this particular short lecture. I had simultaneously written down the code for loop is here, then the small code for while is over here, then the small code for do while is over here. There is one variable I which has to be declared. The same variable I will be using in for loop also, while loop also, and do while loop also. Let us see what is the difference. First question that we need to answer whenever we are writing down any loop, first question that we need to answer is what is that is getting repeated. So in this particular simple code, saying hello on the screen is an activity which is getting repeated. And suppose I want to say hello 5 number of times. So when I'm saying hello, that is the repeated activity. I made a block out of it. So this is the block that needs to be repeated in for loop also. Same block needs to be repeated in while loop also. Same needs to be repeated in do while loop also. Small technical difference of course exists. Now idea is when I is 0, it should say hello. Then I becomes 1, it should say hello. I becomes 2, it should say hello. So output expected will be like hello 0, hello 1, hello 2, hello 3, hello 4. That's the kind of output we are expecting. Whether it is a for loop, while loop or do while loop. That is the output that we are expecting. So repetition is saying hello, saying hello, saying hello. If we happen to print this index I also, then you will see hello 0, hello 1, hello 2, hello 3, hello 4. Otherwise it will just say hello, 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 hello. Like that. Now, in the for loop, there is a provision for what is the initial value of I that we write down over here. Then comes a semicolon. So this is initialization section. This is the condition section. And this is the increment section for your convenience. In a for loop, all three are combined together. First, I is assigned 0. Then we go for condition checking. If it is true, then we enter the loop. After performing the body of the loop, we go for this section which will increment, and again it will go back to I less than 5 condition. So sequence goes like loop is entered here, then the condition check happens. So this is first stage, this is second thing. After that, if it is true, then I get into the body. This is the third case. Then we go for this increment section. This is the fourth case. Then we go for this, which is the fifth stage. So the arrows indicate the correct sequence. The syntax is just a provision to shift from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. As long as I less than 5 is true, it will keep on entering the loop. The moment I less than 5 is not true, it will exit the loop and come out of the loop, which will be the sixth part of it. So initializing the variable, condition checking, and increment, all three are clubbed together for your convenience in a for loop. That is the provision in a for loop. In case my loop works on index basis or count basis, we know in advance when it is going to stop. The number of counts are well specified. Then for loop is the best syntax to use. So this is the syntax for for loop. Because there is a clear-cut space for initialization, condition check and increment. I repeat. Because there is a clear-cut space for initialization, condition check and increment. The chance that we forget any one of those is very rare in case of for loop. So remembering wise, for loop would be very easy. Now let's come back to the while loop. Again, printf hello is what is going to be repeated. But as you see clearly, inside the while parenthesis, of course, there is no something like increment or no something like initialization. So before we start a while loop, we should not forget saying this I equal to 0. And inside the while loop, we also should not forget this I plus plus. So it is responsibility of a programmer in a while loop to initialize the variable before and increment the variable inside. For example, if I forget to initialize I equal to 0 here, and initially only if value of I is 7, suppose value of I is 7, Then at this condition check itself it will be false and hello will not happen even once. Next, if I forget this I plus plus, then I suppose is 0, I come inside, I printed one hello and I forgot to increment this suppose, then it will keep on saying hello because every time I is not changed, I will always remain less than 5 and hello will keep coming. This will be called as infinite loop. If I don't do this, it will be called as an infinite loop. It does not stop. So one care we have to take between while loop is don't forget initialization before you start the while loop and don't forget the increment inside. Some people by mistake do this initialization inside the while loop, which is also very much wrong. Because I said hello when I was 0 for the first time. When I again go inside because it was less than 5 and if I again make I as 0, then what is the use of it? It will also become an infinite. Some people try to do this I plus plus outside the body of the loop. If you do I plus plus outside the body of the loop, when are you going to reach there? Because your loop will be continuously happening hello for the value of I equal to 0. It is kind of waiting so that it reaches 5 so that it can come out. And only when it can come out, it can go here to increment I plus plus. So this will also be a wrong place to do I plus. Now these are the usual 3 mistakes which I pointed out when you are writing down a while loop. Initialization has to be before starting while. Increment has to be inside the while before the body. Should not forget the increment or it will be infinite like loop. Don't do I equal to 0 inside. Again it will be infinite loop. Don't do I plus plus afterwards, after the body of the loop. Again it will be infinite loop. So these are the key differences between for and while. Probably because of these things that programmers may forget. Even experienced programmers sometimes in a hurry forget. Suppose my body of a while loop is 100 number of statements there. So in a hurry, I may forget to do I plus plus. I am so lost in developing the logic for other 100 statements that I may forget to do I plus plus. Because of this, it may go into infinite loop and I cannot notice that. So for this reason, probably they develop for loop where it is chances to forget initialization, condition and increment are rare, all come together. So this is the syntax for loop. This is the syntax for while loop. Now let's come for the do while loop. Clearly you see the difference between while loop and do while loop is that while loop makes the check even before performing the body for the first time. But do while loop does not make the check before performing the body of the loop for the first time. Suppose we have performed the body of the loop once and we are going for the second time. We have performed the body of the loop once and we are going for the second time. Here there is check. In this case also we have performed the body of the loop for the first time and we are going for the second time. Here there is the check. So while loop and do while loop are not different as far as second, third, fourth iteration or continuation is concerned. While loop and do while loop are only different in terms of for the first time while loop makes a check. Do while loop does not make the check for the first time. That is why technically they say whenever the body of the loop has to be compulsorily performed at least once, means minimum of one number of time, then we use do while and not while loop. Otherwise both are the same. The rules, precautions remain the same whether it is while loop or do while loop. In the do while loop also we should not forget to do I equal to 0, the initialization before, and increment also we should not forget inside the do while loop. In the same manner, this I equal to 0 cannot be and should not be done inside. This I plus plus cannot be and should not be done outside while loop. It has to be done inside. And don't forget this I plus plus. Because if you forget, again it will be infinite loop. So these are the key differences between for loop, while loop and do while loop as a syntax. I purposely wrote and explained all these 3 loops together so that you can comparatively remember. Some people understand for loop. Later on when they study while loop, they get confused. Why 2 different techniques and what is the difference? Sometimes people understand while loop and when they go for do while loop, then again they are confused. Why while is different and do while is different. So it's always a good idea maybe to study them at a stretch and simultaneously so that you can know the similarity and you can know the differences. Let us see the similarity. What are those? Just to summarize, what are the similarities? Body, basic activity that is to be repeated remains the same. Can you see? This is the body of the loop. This is the body of the loop. This is the body of the loop. Whatever you have coded here, whatever you coded here, whatever you coded here remains the same. Question is only about initialization, condition and increment. Initialization in a for loop happens in this place, whereas in while loop it happens before. In do while loop it also happens before. Condition check is here, whereas it is along with while. Here it is along with this while. Increment is here. Specifically it has to be written here inside a for loop, whereas in a while loop it happens inside. In a do while loop also it happens inside. Syntax wise you can say while loop and do while loop are very similar in syntax. For loop looks slightly different. For loop looks slightly different. These are the major differences between for loop, while loop and do while loop. Now logically somebody may ask a question. If while loop is there, why would you want a do while loop? Let us see a simple example. Suppose user enters a number. I will change this particular code to something else in a short while now. Let me erase and write down some changes. Let us take a simple example that I want to take an input number from user. User gives 7. That's okay with me. User gives 3. That's okay with me. User gives 2. That's okay with me. Continuously I take on taking the numbers from the user. Only when user gives -1, my program should stop. This is the logic, suppose. So let us write down a program in which user input is terminated by -1. User may give 3 numbers. User may give 2 numbers. User may give 70 numbers also. I don't know in advance how many numbers user might be giving. I don't know in advance how many numbers user might be giving. So this is an ideal logic called as event driven logic rather than count driven logic. While loop and do while loop both are best for event driven logic, whereas for loop is best for count driven logic. Let us write down the code for this. Let us try and write down the code for this. I will erase whatever changes I made in this so that you understand what is the key difference that takes place. Now logic here is not about printing hello. What is getting repeated? Not printf. Scanf is getting repeated. Scanf is getting repeated and I am supposed to take a number. Scanf is getting repeated and I am supposed to take a number. So this is what is getting repeated. Now obviously repeated activity I coded first. I don't know about anything else. For the time being, ignore for and ignore do while. Let's focus only on while loop. Don't know what is the condition check over here. Scanf %d ampersand number is the activity that is going to be repeated continuously. Now if in this particular case I am going to take the number as input. Whatever number is taken as input, the same has to be checked. And if it is not -1, then I am supposed to continue. So my condition check here is while a number not equal to -1, I go on next. Take the number, check -1, get out of it. If not -1, get in. If number is -1, get out of it. If not -1, then get in. That's the condition. Whether the number is -1 or not, depending upon that, this logic is working. Suppose we coded like this. But now see the challenge. There is no index. There is no initialization. Condition check is not like count driven check. There is no increment. This kind of a logic in which there is no initialization, condition is slightly different and increment need not be there. I prefer to call it event driven logic. Means logic is driven by event rather than simple count maturity. Now what is the problem here? Unless I take the input, I cannot check, and unless I can check, I cannot take the input. So this is very similar to what is called as what comes first, egg or the hen. Do you understand? I cannot take the inputs unless I check, because I cannot reach here if number is not checked. And how can you check the number if you have not taken the input? Because whatever the number user is giving, the same I am supposed to check. So this logic will force me to do one more scanf before while loop. So I will have to write down here scanf %d ampersand number. So this one more I have to write down in this particular case. This scanf I will have to write down over here. This particular statement I need to write down over here. So I take the input at least once, then I check and I continue. Now as long as user gives me -1, then only I will stop. Now if the very first number only user gives -1, then also this is going to be happening. This scanf is going to be happening. And then none of this will happen. But then effectively this is what can be done in a do while loop. Effectively the same stuff can be done in a do while loop. In this do while loop, can I do here scanf %d ampersand number, and obviously I will be checking the number whether it is not -1. Do take the number first, don't check. Do take the number first, scan it, don't check, take the value, and if the value happens to be not -1, take the next number and come out. From this you can get out the moment user gives -1. But definitely this loop will be easier to conceive or write down when the loop has to be performed at least once. Specifically for such situations when the body of the loop has to be done at least once, the do while loop is invented. Otherwise while loop can do the job. I hope you understood the difference between while loop and do while loop, in the sense when it is needed. Anyway, we can also code it using while loop, but one extra number of time we might have to repeat the body before the while loop if we want it to be desperately to be done at least once. That's the difference between while loop and do while loop. Now you easily understood how to develop a event driven loop. What was the event? User giving value as -1 was the event over here. Now let us try to code the same logic of taking the input number and checking whether it is -1 or not, then taking the next value only if it is not -1. This is the problem. Let's try to develop the same problem using for loop. This will give you an idea that any code can be written using any one of the methods. We have three tools: for loop, while loop and do while loop. You can use while loop, you can use do while loop, or you can use for. Any one is okay. Any one is okay. These are only syntax. But to repeat, I say for will be better for count driven logic where there is index and there is increment. Some different condition like number is -1 or not, something like that. Temperature has reached 60 or not, something. That kind of logics, different types of logics where a weird or a different kind of unique condition exists, then while loop will be better. Among while loop only when the count driven logic is there, but when it has to be done at least once, do while loop will be better. Okay, so now let's focus entirely on while loop. I will purposely erase all this so that it's getting repeated. Scanf %d ampersand number, taking the number as input, is getting repeated. So let's do that at least once. This becomes my body of the loop. That getting repeated. What is getting repeated is taking the number as input is getting repeated. Now for the first time, for loop only has a provision like there is something that is done only once in the beginning. Then some condition check happens. Then action happens. Then something happens before you can do the condition check. So let's do for the first time. Then this is the second time. Then it goes in if it is true. Then it always goes here. And then again it goes here. And if it is false, it gets out of the loop. This is the sequence we remember. People might be confused when I'm writing down something else now, so I'm warning you. You need not always do I equal to 0, I less than n, and I plus plus. Any other stupid logic, any other sentence also you can write down over here, which is perfectly valid. The only provision of a for loop is to shift from this to this to this to this to this and to get out finally. This sequential course of action is the only syntactical provision in a for loop. How do you intelligently use it is you have to look out. So initially when the user is giving input, the very first thing that I want to do is scanf the number. So why not code it here? I will say scanf %d ampersand number. That is perfectly valid. So as soon as my for loop is started, I will take one number input. So this will definitely happen at least once, because the condition is going to happen next. What is the next thing to do once you take the number? Suppose user gives 7. Perfectly 7 is taken as the input. Then I check. Whether the number is -1 or not. And when do you want it to be happening? When it is not -1. So I will say here number not equal to -1. By the way, please don't write down any if, while, whatever. This condition is automatically checked. This is a logical expression which is automatically checked. When it is true, then only it will enter the body. If it is false, it will come out of the body. So my condition here is not very general like I less than 5 and all that kind of. I take the number, I check the number. If it is true, I perform it. So I have another value in number now. My job is to go next now. Now in this case, I simply omit. I don't write anything. That is also perfectly valid. Because I took the number, then I compared the number. If it was not -1, so I took another number. So I can directly go for another check of the number. I need not do anything. So just leave it blank, which is also perfectly valid. Or if you feel like, you can do some fun over there. Printf. And I can say done once. Something like this. And a semicolon. Now what is the output of this going to be like? Take the number, say 7. Is it not equal to -1? Yes, not -1. I took the another number, that is 3. That's perfectly fine. Then I will say done once. Here I will say done once. But in fact I have done twice, because this is done for the first time, which is done only first. So before this I could have printed, or even in the same also I might print. Printf done once. Or you might say going to do once. That might be more logical over here. Printf going to do necessarily once. Then you do this scanf, then the check, then this. Then every time you do, it's going to say done once, and it will come out only when it is going to fail. I purposely wrote down this kind of a complex code just to explain you that for loop can also be used for counter driven logic. But as you observed, it becomes pretty complex or cryptic to observe or view. For loop is wonderful for something like I less than 5, I plus plus, I equal to 0, this kind of logic, which is nothing but count driven logic. Now just to summarize, what is a count driven logic and what is event driven logic? I have been talking so much of the time. Count driven logic is when you already know in advance how many times the body is going to happen, like 5. So you can hard code it over there. Or it can be some variable number you can take from user, 50, 20, 30. But before you start the loop, you know how much. It's something like you go to the hotel and it's planned in your head how many rotis you are going to have. Either when the waiter comes, or while you enter the hotel itself, you know, or when the waiter comes, you tell him the fixed number of counts of the rotis. You don't have more. That is counter driven logic. An analogy I had given. Another way, you go to the hotel, you don't know how many rotis you want to eat. The waiter comes, still you don't know how many rotis you eat. You take one and take another and take another, and there comes a sensor or signal from your stomach and that tells you enough. And that is the time you announce to the waiter that stop. This logic I would prefer to call it as event driven logic, because you don't know when your stomach full condition is going to come. So event is stomach full. In the older case, 5, 7, 3 number of rotis was your event. Of course, count driven logic is also some event. Count reaching its maturity is the event. I hope you understood very well the difference between for loop, while loop and do while loop. I majorly told you the syntax, and I also told you counter driven logic will be better to be coded by for loop, and event driven logic will be better to be coded by either while loop or do while loop. Do while loop is probably the best option when you want the loop to be performed at least once. Let it be count driven or event driven. In while loop, also in do while loop, take precaution that initialization has to be done before the loop, before starting the body of the loop. Inside the body of the loop, don't forget to do either that increment or decrement in both while loop and do while loop. In for loop, you will not forget that because there are three separate compartments. I'm just repeating this for the sake of emphasizing. Three sections, as you say, for. First one is initialization, second is condition, and third is increment. Now there you have complete freedom. You can do any nonsense here, any nonsense here, any nonsense here. I'm purposely calling it nonsense because people have preset ideas that you have to do I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. No. Whatever you don't want to be done only once, code it here. Whatever you want to the condition check, of course a logical expression, do it here. Whatever you want to be done every time before the condition check, put it here. Even if you put this stuff, even if you put this particular stuff as the last statement in the for loop, hardly any difference. But then that will appear to be as a part of repeated body and not something which is supporting the iteration. One very nice thing for loop has been done is these three things are to support the repetition. They are not part of the repeated stuff. So repeated stuff comes in the body and whatever is support logic for repetition comes here separately. Whereas in while loop and do while loop, the repeated part and what is supporting the repetition, I plus plus and all, they are intermingled and there are chances that you may forget it out. So don't forget that. We also studied when the loop can go in infinite loop. Thank you.